Recently, the new Forza Motorsport released, and I pirated it because I'm poor. Okay, before I actually start talking about the game itself, can we please stop rebooting every single fucking video game franchise? So before I even started really playing the game, I noticed that you can't do anything when you're in offline mode, and I'm forced to play offline because I pirated the game. If you bought the game and you don't have a stable internet connection and you can only play it offline, you are forced to only play quick match, or free play as they call it, which is just singular races against AI. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can't do the career mode, you can't do anything. Let's get into the actual game and the issues it has. So first off, the graphics. The graphics are quite bad. I'm gonna be honest, they aren't good, at least for Forza standards. Forza's known for having some of the best graphics, not just in the racing game genre, but in the whole industry. In the new Motorsport, it's just not up to par, especially with what we saw in the trailers. They were fucking hyping this up to be some of the best graphics we've ever seen in a racing game. In some parts, when you can get the right lighting and whatnot, the graphics are decent. I noticed at the start of races, the front of my car is really blurry. Cockpit's graphics are pretty fucking bad. The lighting in there is especially dull. Another thing are the physics. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. If anything, it's quite good. But Forza's known for being more of an arcade racer, and they've overhauled the physics to be much more realistic. In my opinion, it's worse, but more hardcore fans, they'll definitely like it. The physics just feel really rough. The performance, however, no one will like. The performance is absolutely fucking abysmal. Now, I myself have a pretty high spec PC. I'm not going to go into depth of the specs I have, but they're pretty up to date with modern standards, and it can handle virtually any game I throw at it at max settings typically. Set my auto settings on the medium settings, as it always does with Forza for some reason, and I was only getting about 60 to 70 frames. Obviously that is playable, but I expect to be playing at like 150, and I was actually playing Horizon 5 a few weeks ago at ultra settings, and I was playing it flawlessly at 150, no stuttering, nothing. But with Motorsport, with graphics that are arguably worse somehow, I'm getting 60 frames. I then tried to experiment and play on the ultra settings and all the highest settings I could, and I was only getting about 20 to 30 frames, which is just not it. So obviously I couldn't play on that because it's unbearable. And for all the console players that are rushing into my little comment section, we only get 20 frames to 30 frames usually, I don't care. Shut up. And what's much worse is that the performance on launch day was somehow even worse than it was now. People with even higher spec PCs than I have on lower settings were getting 20 frames, and the game was genuinely unplayable. Now, the AI, just like the performance, has been quote-unquote improved. Obviously, it's still pretty bad. They occasionally just ram into each other, and you, the player. They spin out, go off-road, and they're just extremely inconsistent. Every single difficulty I played, they were either really slow or extremely fast to the point where I just couldn't even keep up with them. It was like an opposite rubber band effect. Now, the car list. The car list is impressive. However, Motorsport 7 had around 850 cars, give or take. Motorsport 8, the reboot, Motorsport, I don't know, it only has around 500, which of course is a pretty large number. However, all the assets weren't just copied from Horizon 5, and they removed 300 cars. Apparently the cause for this mass car extinction event was because there were too many unnecessary cars in Motorsport 7, such as SUVs and off-road vehicles, so they've replaced them with more genuine racing cars, except they just didn't do this and completely lied. These are 6 of the cars that they removed, and I don't think they're SUVs, I think they're literal racing cars. Also, for some reason, the auction house just doesn't exist in the new Motorsport. I have no idea why they did this, I haven't specified why. Now, that's everything I've experienced myself, although I do know that there are many more issues just lurking around in the game somewhere. There's actually a full list of issues that Playground has listed on their official sport website. These are just a few on the screen of what they've shown. Quite saddening to see that virtually every single AAA game released in the past 5 or so years, maybe even longer than 5 years, has just released with so many issues. Like games like Cyberpunk releasing just so poorly on every platform. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not calling Motorsport a bad game. I'm simply just pointing out the flaws, the many flaws it has and the many issues it has. Quite frankly, it's a great game, but the issues, the features that are missing, and the offline mode shit is just plain stupid. And it's been 6 years since the last entry in the Motorsport series, and they've been hyping this up as the most advanced, most technical racing game ever made. Those are their words, by the way, they're not mine. Now, obviously, with most games that are released in a state like this, it will get better eventually. I don't know how long that will be, but this simply just shouldn't be a thing. Having to wait more time after the initial wait for the game to come out, having to wait for day one patches, having to wait for just everything to be fixed so the game is at its full playable state, and it's just really fucking stupid. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow my Twitter. Be sure to join my Discord as well. Both those links will be in the description. And also, if you feel like it, follow my Twitch. I try and stream there every 6 months or so. I should be getting back to streaming sooner or later, so be sure to follow me on that as well. And thanks for watching. Yeah, peace.